With me today is Sarah Lambert, CEO and co-founder at Ora Medical, a health tech company revolutionizing physical rehabilitation. Sarah, welcome to Say Hi to the Future.
Thank you so much for the invitation and hello everyone.
So Sarah, I was online, I was looking at some of the videos of what you do, and we'll get into the company itself, but the way that you brought together physical therapy, rehabilitation, AI. Tell me about your background. Like, how do you get to this point?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I've started in the world of physical therapy in my studies. So I first studied physical therapy at Laval University, and I had one internship in pediatrics. I was helping kids, and I saw that there was a big need in the market. A lot of kids were using walkers, like all the workers that elderly people are also using. And sometimes we needed to take their hands and they needed to be strapped on the walker. So I was like, oh, this should be something that we can do for them. We should reinvent something. We're now in, it was 2018 at the time. So I was wondering, oh, maybe we should do something. So I went to mechanical engineer after I moved to Montreal to study mechanical engineering at Polytechnique Montreal. And then we designed our first prototype with my co-founder, Louis Saint-Pierre. And then we commercialized our first device in 2023 when we got the Health Canada registration.
Cool. So you go for mechanical. Did you touch on biomechanical at all? Was that part
Um,
of it or?
Kind of. I mean, we have some of our team members. They did bio and biomedical engineering at Polytechnique.
Okay.
But for me, it was only mechanical. With my background in physical therapy, then I was kind of juggling the two and incorporating all of my knowledge in biomechanic and incorporating in, into the technology world. Yeah.
So you combine the therapy with the mechanics of the body and how we moved. Earlier on, you talked a little bit about therapy and watching or working with children. So do you predominantly work with children?
So I just did an internship. I graduated. I did my last internship in pediatric, and I was like, I want to work in technology. So yeah, now our device is mostly for kids. We are planning to do a teenager version, but for the adult population, we have more things coming up with our app that we just launched.
Okay, and when you talk about children and rehabilitation, are you looking at children who have been through accidents? Are you looking at children with special needs who need sort of a lifelong understanding of how to walk and move? What does this really focus on?
Yeah, it depends on the diagnosis. Some kids are born with the disease. So if kids are born with cerebral palsy, this is the most common diagnosis that we know of. Some kids also had an injury when they were young. So there's around 800,000 kids in the world that would need a device like ours. In North America, it's something like 180,000. So yes, kids with muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, or even plus surgery.
So you mentioned too, you partner with Louis St. Pierre. What is Louis' background? How did you two meet?
Yeah, that's another good question. So we've met, we were doing a student committee at the Polytechnique Montreal. So after school, we were just building things. We were in a biomedical student committee. So we were building exoskeletons at the time for people with muscular dystrophy. So we built this arm exoskeleton, and I was the one pitching because I had the medical background. So I was the one pitching for our project and to receive some money from different instances. And yeah, so we kind of kept this formula. Louis, as his personal interest and his why, is also because one of his family member had muscular dystrophy. So he they understand the need for our solution. And when I talked to him, he was graduating and he was like, Sarah, I really want to build my business. And then I was like, oh, but I have an idea. Back then, when I was in pediatric physical therapy, I saw that there was a need for kids. So we could do something like an innovative product to help them walk. And that was where it started.
It started with an after-school meeting and playing around designing exoskeletons.
Yeah.
That's not your average after-school activity, even in engineering.
Yeah, I mean, mostly in the in Polytechnic, sometimes there was the 5 cassette that we like to call that were
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, no, we really liked building things that were having an impact. And this is why we like to put a lot of time, even when we were still students, to make an impact into this world.
And so you sort of put like the purpose of the company, as I hear it, came from both your work with children and Louis' personal experience.
Exactly. We want to expand the access of care with different technologies. So making advanced care accessible. I personally was frustrated sometimes because some technologies were only affordable in clinics. So what we tried to bring was all the body weight support technology into a walker. So we're making advanced physical rehabilitation accessible with our first solution. And now we're expanding access to physical therapy with our new application. It's called Ora Connect. So the goal is to do remote therapy. So I'm really excited about that other part and this new journey too.
So take a step back. So that's you mentioned your next product. So you get together, you have a prototype, you have a combined purpose. Talk to us about sort of the origins of Aura, of the company and that first, I guess, piece of hardware slash software you put together.
Yes, totally. So what I saw, like the big need that I saw when I was in pediatric physical therapy, I was into this internship, and I was offloading the weight by myself by grabbing the hips of the kids and trying to offload their weight. So we see a lot of parents and a lot of other clinicians doing that all the time. So they're always offloading the patient's weight. And this is the same thing for adults too. So it's a common thing when you're trying to help somebody's walk. You're just
Sorry, what does that mean to offload their weight?
to take some of a portion of their weight off the floor, so like they can. It's less heavy.
You're holding them, you're okay.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So like trying to offload some of their weight, so they have less weight to put into their legs. So this is a something that we do for helping them walk. So I was doing that myself. And then there's a lot of other technologies and other like big children's hospitals where they have body weight support technology attached to the ceiling. It's another way to offload some of the weight, but it's on the big technology. It's quite bulky and it's pretty expensive. So it ranges between 100,000 to 250,000. So these technologies attached on the ceiling, you won't really have that at home because it's a bit expensive and a bit bulky. So
Right.
what I was trying to do is to build like having this type of body weight support technology, but on a really affordable walker. So this is what we've done. We patented body weight support technology. We're using constant force spring for the first time into a gait trainer. So a constant force spring is a rolling spring. So instead of a linear spring, this one is a coil spring. So like when I'm pulling, then you see the spring is like unrolling, and that gives the strength and the power to offload some of the weight of the user that is using your product. Sorry.
So when I watched the video too, you just mentioned things that are hooked onto the ceiling. Those do they move? I mean, because I see yours moving, which allows people to take steps forward. did the 100 to $250,000 approach, did that even let people move or just sort of walk on the spot?
No, it moves, but typically it's a rail. It's like a rail that is 10 meters.
Runner, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like you can move like back and forth, but you cannot like go everywhere outside. And so our goal was to do overground body weight support, like overground training on like anywhere. So you can go outside, can go to the mall. You always have this body weight support technology that offloads some of the weight, and you can practice to walk at any point.
So it's almost like a reverse walker, if you will. Like instead of people holding on and pushing it forward, it's holding you and you're moving it forward. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. We were trying to replicate the hands of the therapist. Like if the therapist was
Mhm.
just behind you and offloading some of the weight and be a safety net in case you fall. This is exactly what we try to replicate with the gait trainer. So the body weight support system is offloading some of your weight and you cannot fall to the ground. We have like some mechanism that like stops you. So it's really a safe way to learn how to walk with this device.
Okay. So I think the other thing you mentioned was really cool is that because it's lighter, more mobile itself, it goes outside, it goes wherever you want to go rather than, just walking within a very short space frame. Now, is the end goal of this to assist people to walk better with the machine, or can you actually improve their mobility in the hope of, a machine-free kind of movement?
Yeah, this is what we're trying to do so that eventually they won't need our solution because we can adjust the body weight support system according to the patient's need. So the goal is that they can reinforce their legs and really build this muscle activity into their legs. And then we just put more and more weight into their legs. So we just change the weight canister. We change the
Mhm.
spring system to make it lighter. So they put more weight into their legs. So that eventually the goal is that they won't need our solution.
Okay. And where does AI now play into it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a lot of other AI solutions that are popping up now that ChatGPT is on. We just launched a new application that it's called Ora Connect. So the solution, the hardware system was great, but some families were always asking us, what can I do with the Levity at home? So they wanted to have some ideas about like exercises and like how to really adjust it and how to personalize the exercises. So we were like, okay, we're not like service provider, but we can connect you with your physical therapist. So now they can use an app that we are sending some exercises. I mean, the physical therapists are choosing the exercise, and now they can do and stay connected remotely. So they can send remote exercises. They can decide when they do it and keep on a conversation about like how is the progression going. With AI, what is really interesting, and when we'll gather enough data, we'll be able to see some treatment prediction and treatment recommendation. So that's going to be really great when a patient is, it's really to motivate the patient a little bit more. So being able to say, look, in 3 months, the kid will be able to walk because like we see a really great progression. So that will really help to motivate the caregivers, motivate the everybody, all the caregivers at school. So like really motivate everybody around the same goal. If we have a little bit about the prediction about like what is going on in the next 3 months. So that's one thing. The other thing is treatment recommendation. So we don't have it yet because you need a lot of data. But when we'll get enough data, we'll be able to see, look, this progression. Like we have a lot of different treatment that is affecting the kid's journey, like Botox treatment for some kids that have some stiffness. We also have like sometimes they have surgery, like hip surgery or knee surgery. So we can either like recommend like a treatment or like recommend to not have it. So depending on the kid's journey, then we can say like who he would be a good candidate now for Botox or so that would be really great to really help the kid's journey.
What you've just described, I mean, both sort of phase one and phase two of your description. I mean, when I think of the use of AI, I mean, one, there's less travel time, there's more remote capacity
Yeah,
for a therapist to treat a child anywhere. I mean, that's phenomenal. And I'm guessing too that, I mean, you're capturing data not just for the doctor or the therapist or the whole team, if you will, but the patient, the person who is working on their own mobility, I guess gets this ongoing snapshot of watching their own movement progress and their numbers get better. That must be an incredible thing to watch.
exactly. And it's also to empower the users, to empower the like to take responsibility of their own care and saying like, look, here you are now, and you're followed and you are empowered by your whole team that is watching you. So that's really motivating. There's a lot of new reimbursement codes in the United States, like remote patient monitoring. So everything around monitoring is uh, really popular right now because there's reimbursement for that. So it's really booming. Some statistic like post-pandemic, everything around remote care is 38 times higher. Uh, the usage of remote care is 38 times higher than pre-pandemic. So there's really a big movement and a big shift doing everything remote. Some things cannot be replaced. We understand that some manual therapy are really, really needed. But if we can be more efficient by doing a little portion remote, then I think that our system will be super efficient.
And when you talk about remote and AI and healthcare, I mean, I don't know if you can talk about other areas, but what do you see the future of that melding of AI remote into our own healthcare going forward?
Yeah, I think you might be familiar with the AI agents. So those agents that are helping the PTs and they're helping the clinicians like taking notes. So we see that they're already super efficient because you have like a taking during the therapy, during the treatment, you have somebody taking notes. So they remember everything. And I think that at a certain extent, you'll be able to have this AI engine at home with you that will be able to help you on a daily basis to see like where are you today, where are you right now. So ready to have a companion in your care.
And I guess it just becomes or could become a great way overall to doctors say, especially in Ontario, I know, I mean, they go online, they can pick up your imaging, your whatever, if you go for an X-ray or whatnot. I guess this is just one more thing that is brought together for them in the palm of their hand to watch and see what's happening.
Exactly. So you have this monitoring in real time that you can have like a certain in the US to get the remote patient monitoring codes. You need to see the patient and have some reports 16 days out of 30 days. So you need to have like some information that is coming in. But I think it's so good to like have a follow-up after surgery so you can either send the patient at home a little bit earlier, but you still track their progress. So that will be a huge shift for a whole healthcare system to either save costs and also to help the patients be more comfortable at home and healing and with his family.
And this isn't just Canada. I mean, in a very short time, looking at your map, you've got a lot of different people you can connect with in the US, and you've started in Europe through France.
Yeah, now we are actually registered with the Levity device in 24 countries. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so we've made a big distribution partnership with a company that in the United States, and they are selling in 73 countries. So with them, we are registering a new country. So it's pretty exciting now because we have patients in UAE, in France, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil. So it's really great to see that the kiddos are taking steps with their solution. And we see them now, which is the beautiful thing about social media. I see all of that on Instagram. I see patients in Brazil taking their first steps, and we have the recording of it. So it's really cool to be connected with those families.
That's cool. So, well, you can see the passion in your face for those who are not watching that are listening today. Um, what kinds of results have you seen? I mean, you talked about the first few steps, but in general, what are you seeing?
Yeah, that's a good question. We when with our first user that we tried the Levity with, because at first we were not really thinking about doing a business with it. We were just like, we want to help this patient. So we had the Nayla, her name is. So Nayla was coming with she was using a walker, but it was not really helping her because she was putting all of her weights into the upper arms and almost no weight into her legs. So now we really, with her solution, we really shifted the way she was walking. So we did some research study at the Centre de Réadaptation Marie-Enfant in Montreal. And then we were able to see that her legs were more straight when she was walking because she was not only just relying on her arms and her feet were going a little bit everywhere. Now her legs were straight, a little bit more straight. So we were really excited about that. And then we're like, okay, let's you can try the device at home now. So she kept the device at home for 3 months. When she started, like on day 0, she was only doing 3 steps without any device, so without anything. She was able to walk 3 steps. And with her solution at home for 3 months, she was doing 80 steps. So that was a huge difference, like without any device at the end, like 80 steps without anything. So she was almost walking. Um, so that was really impressive. And then we were super excited with her mom and everything. And yeah, so that was our moment where we realized, okay, we have something. Body weight support training and partial weight support training is really something that can benefit a lot of people. And then this is where we started with Nayla as our first user. Yeah.
That's quite a story. I mean, that's moving from 3 to 80.
Yeah, and without any therapy, with just the device at home. So that was great.
Well, I'm sure that she and the parents were just like it's a game changer, isn't it?
100%. And then we were like chatting together and mom was happy. We were so happy. And we're like, okay, we'll help more people like Nayla. And that's what drove us since day one. We were like, we will help more kids like Nayla. Because we really saw the benefits firsthand. And we were like so close to mom and Nayla. So yeah, this is where
Very nice.
we were heading.
Um, you're in, as you said, over or you've been approved in over 70 countries. How hard was it, let's say the first time? What type of approval do you need? What kind of a sign off do you need for, I'm guessing this goes under the medical device category?
Yes. So the Levity device is a class 1 medical device. We registered with Health Canada in January 2023, and we also registered with the FDA for the United States in October 2023. We got also the CE mark for Europe in November 2024. So now that we have the CE mark, then we can sell around Europe when we register, depending on the countries we registered in. But we have a huge help of our distributor for that. So they're really helpful so this is why we're in 24 countries now. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like the hardest is the first, and once you would get like a Canada or the US and then get into the European Union, it starts to ease up in terms of reapplication or whatnot.
Yeah, we have a quality management system, so a QMS that is called, and we have somebody that is doing that full time. So she knows everything about regulatory. When we know that we want to open a new country, then we are looking at all the different needs to open the country. And Beatrice is really amazing doing that. She's working really hard and doing all those research and all the filling all the requirements. But we made it. We're still making it today.
Well, it sounds like you're not at the beginning, but still the early stage of a phenomenal journey. It's been amazing, speaking to you about Ora and the work that you're doing for children, then hopefully for teens and adults. And as we heard through your stories, it's changing people's lives, the patient and and the parents and obviously the caregivers. So thank you so much for your time. And just before leaving though, talk to me about, what ways you advocate for accessibility. Just to open this as a front runner or a forerunner, whatever you want to call it. How do you make it easier? How do you open the door for others?
Yeah, there's many ways that we're trying to be better advocates. Just by raising awareness on funding. So this is one thing. Our device is unfortunately not free, but we're trying to make it free with the different government programs. So now we applied to ADP. So we are trying to advocate for our users and our families in Ontario, saying like, hey, this is really needed for families. We would see a lot of benefits for the kids. So this is why we applied to ADP. So we might get an answer soon. But same thing for all the different provinces and all the different states. So I'm advocating to the insurance companies, saying like, look, this is something that we need to work on for families. So this is one thing. And all about the other and new technologies. So just not only our product and our solution, even the ones that, I'm thinking about other companies like Turtle Brace, and other companies that are having so many benefits for the kids and for families. I'm like, this is really great, and we see a lot of a great outcome for kids. So we're advocating and helping other companies like ours that they can succeed and also being known in our community.
Well, Sarah Lambert, CEO, co-founder at Ora Medical, it's been a pleasure. And I got to say to you and your partner, Louis Saint-Pierre, boy, do I hope this keeps growing and succeeding the way it is. I mean, it's really making a difference. So thank you so much again for your time with us on Say Hi to the Future.
Thanks so much for the interview. And if you want to see those videos, you can always see them on oramedical.ca or on our Instagram, Ora_medical. So yeah, thank you so much again for the opportunity today.